Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Hope everybody's having a great what is it today? Wednesday today. This is Coach Bill with Weight Loss Made Easy. Hope you guys are doing well today. As you can see, I'm outside today doing this video. I haven't done a video I think in about a week now, and so I thought it's time to do one, especially this one here. Is because those of you that follow me know that Emily and I have a 90-day online personal coaching program that we do. And a lot of the beginners out there, when I start talking about a 48-hour or 72-hour fasting, they start panicking because they are still in that mindset that of they're going to starve to death or they're always going to be hungry. And they haven't quite learned yet that the body isn't going to let you do that. And there's a few tricks that we do that will keep you from having those hunger waves as long as you're following the protocols right. So hope you guys can see me okay out here. I'm not sure how the sun is hitting me, but I'm using my laptop today. I've got some notes down, and the reason for that is because I am using some science to back up the information that I am giving you today. And so I kind of want to read off the actual science report that I got. So I wanted to make sure I didn't change the wording of those just by trying to remember it all. So guys, let's get started here. But first, before we get started, those of you that are on Facebook, when this is over, go to my YouTube channel, type in Bill Mabry, subscribe to it. There's a bell up there. Go ahead and hit that bell, and you'll be getting other new videos that I do. And those of you that are watching this on YouTube, of course, hit that bell, and you'll be notified of more videos. But today's topic, guys, is why should you do a 48 to a 72-hour fast? And basically, guys, this is the body's natural way of cleansing itself. The body was designed to actually fast, or the body was designed to where you should take a break from eating food, especially in your gut. And so, as you notice here, you'll see me checking my notes to make sure I'm following the right. I don't want to miss anything here, but because of it just seems like that every day. It's at a point I'm hearing somebody talk about how they're having some kind of a gut issue, or they have a friend. I mean, how many of you guys know somebody out there that has some type of a gut issue? It's just tons and tons of people. I really believe that all these gut issues are becoming an epidemic, and there's multiple different types out there. So what I'm referring to is I'm going to refer to all of the different issues that people have. That's even the ones that are gluten intolerant or lactose intolerant. That's all because of an unhealthy gut. And guys, your body wasn't designed to eat multiple times a day. Your body wasn't designed to eat the Western diet. And of course, the body wasn't designed to consume so many different toxic environmental chemicals. And every year is getting worse and worse, especially in the water. I mean, the World Health Organization has been putting out warnings about how contaminated the bottled water is with plastic particles. You've got news media out there talking about it all the time, about how contaminated the rivers are, how estrogen, the levels of estrogen in the water is so high, and why there's issues with young boys having what they call man boobs. I mean, it goes on and on and on, and there's different multiple chemicals that are in the water. And if you're drinking the right amount of water per day like you're supposed to, then you're consuming these chemicals, a gallon to a gallon and a half a day, every day, consistently. So Think about that. If you're consuming chemicals in the water, consuming chemicals on your food, and you're breathing the environmental toxins every single day, and the airplanes that are flying by and all those toxic exhaust coming down, if you're doing that every single day, how in the world is your body going to be able to keep up with it? How is your immune system able to keep up with all the toxic chemicals? It can't. And that's why all these major diseases like cancer, like type 2 diabetes, like acid reflux, autoimmune diseases, dementia, that's why they're escalating, and that's why most of them now are an epidemic proportion, and it's getting worse. Because your body, you do not have a way to detox yourself or flush them out of your body on a daily basis, because the essence of life, guys, is your water. And that's the simplest and fastest way to be able to build your immune system is by drinking water that's got hydrogen H2 in it, which is a very, very powerful antioxidant. Those of you that follow me, you know I talk about this all the time because it's a serious issue. Science has been talking about this for decades, but yet you or you don't know about it. And your doctors and your health professionals, they don't research it themselves, and they don't understand how important water really is for detoxification. So, and besides, you're overeating. You're eating too many meals a day. You guys, you see, your gut, your digestive tract, it needs a chance to rest. It needs a chance to repair itself. And so by you guys overeating every day, eating multiple meals every single day, you're not giving your digestive tract the natural way of how it cleans itself, or how it detoxifies itself, or how it's able to heal itself. And so by doing these intermittent fastings, or by doing these, especially these prolonged fastings, the ones that are 48 hours or more, I basically recommend people to do a 48-hour or 72-hour fast once every couple of months. Emily and I do it probably every month because we're looking for the benefits of the anti-aging that happens when you do prolonged fastings. And we also know for a fact that when you put your stage in, when you put your body in longer fastings, you go into a stage, which I'll talk about in a minute, that will actually help to eat up your flabby skin, or if you have wrinkles. I mean, this is science. This is known by science to where long fasting is anti-aging, besides other many benefits out there. But guys, you have to understand that the physiology of the body needs a chance to heal. The gut needs a chance to heal itself, so that you have good gut health. And by you overeating three or four meals a day, your digestive tract does not have a chance to heal. It never will. Okay, and there's other factors involved. But let's go to what science says. Okay, so here are my notes. This is the title of "What Does Science Say About Doing Prolonged Fasting?" And so the first research that I have here is by the University of Southern California, USC, and many of you know that USC has their own medical research department out there, and this is what they're saying. Okay, it says prolonged fasting helps to strengthen the immune system. A strong immune system helps fight all diseases. Prolonged fasting helps with anti-aging. Fasting, now this is the important part here, guys. Fasting triggers stem cell regeneration of damaged cells. In other words, the University of California is saying that by doing a prolonged fasting, and I'm going to go right to the head of it, 40 hours up to 72 hours, is promoting the regeneration of new stem cells for the immune system. So what it's doing, it's regenerating stem cells for the immune system. That's basically what it's doing. It's giving your immune system to become healthier so that you can fight these environmental toxins that you're consuming on a daily basis. Okay, so let's see what the next one is. The next one we're going with is this one here is one that we really need to take particular attention to, because this professor, he's a doctor, he's got a PhD, does a lot of cancer research, and he's the one that came up with the GKI monitoring system. GKI means glucose ketone index. What he found is he was doing research on brain tumors. And he found that by doing intermittent fasting or prolonged fasting and a ketogenic diet, that the tumors in brain cancer patients were shrinking. And he wanted to figure out a way to monitor that. Okay, why is it shrinking? Now, obviously he knows, and most of you know that, or those of you that have had cancer, that the main source of food for cancer is sugar. So it's pretty obvious that by lowering your sugar intake daily and keeping your blood sugar or your insulin down to base, the cancer cannot survive on it. But this is interesting here in the research that Professor let's see, I hit it wrong. Professor Thomas Seinfeld said is that what he found out by doing a ketogenic diet or intermittent fasting, which means you're going to be doing a 80% good high fat, 15% low protein, and 5% carbs. And your carbs are going to come from vegetables, but very small portions. No starches, no refined sugars or anything. What he discovered is that the body will go into a what they call fat adaptation, because your carbs have been lowered so low that it's keeping, because when you're on a high carb diet, of course you're going to produce glucose is sugar. You guys know all that stuff. But by being on a low carb diet, as low as 5% and lower even, he discovered that cuts off the feed source or the food source for cancer cells. And besides that, when the liver is depleted of glucose completely, because glucose is what the body uses for energy, but when you've completely depleted it, then the body automatically goes into your stored fat. Now, those of you that are looking to lose weight, or you might be overweight, I mean, doesn't it make sense? Why not go after your stored fat as fuel and not after the food you're eating and carbs, making sugar? If you deplete those sugars or that glucose, there's no more carbs to burn for fuel, so the body naturally has to go somewhere to get fuel. And what does it do? It goes to your stored body fat. So kind of makes sense, right? If you want to lose inches, yeah, it does. But this is the interesting thing about what Dr. Thomas Seinfeld found, that when you go into fat adaptation or when you go into fat burning, the liver is drawing the fat from the fat cells into the liver, and that fat is being converted what they call ketones. And now science says ketones is a better source of energy for the body because it's cleaner. But what Dr. Seinfeld came up with, and I'll tell you what, he's very adamant. When you watch one of his webinars or his classes, he's very vocal about this because he has so much research on it now. But what he found out is that cancer cells cannot survive on fat. Cancer cells cannot survive on what? Ketones. So if you're becoming fat adapted, if your body is switching from burning carbs or glucose and now has to switch over to burning fat because now you're producing ketones, there's nothing left for the cancer to eat. So basically, what are you doing? You're starving the cancer. Exactly. Not just cancer, though. There's more. There's this ketones is a benefit for many other disease models, like autoimmune disease, like brain trauma or dementia. I mean, all kinds of them. There's all kinds of research about it. And so this is what Thomas Seinfeld says. And I'm going to go ahead and read what he says. Prolonged fasting and a ketogenic diet are known to starve cancer cells. Okay, that is the basic. And now, and like I said, I've got the videos on his seminars. Another site, now some of you researchers out there might know about this. It's called PubMed or Medical Gas. They're all about the same. And PubMed, that is a very popular site that a lot of health professionals like to go into and research. Well, this is what PubMed is saying about prolonged fasting. Prolonged fasting of a 48-hour plus hours helps with restructuring good gut bacteria. Bingo. You guys, most all of you out there that are consuming a lot of toxic chemicals on a daily basis, what are you doing to your gut bacteria? You're killing your gut bacteria, guys. You have unhealthy gut bacteria. That's why you have a leaky gut. That's why you have issues with IBS. That's why you have I mean, that's just multiple. When your gut bacteria is sick, or you have mostly bad gut bacteria, that's where all the issues is. Well, here PubMed says here, right here, do a 48-hour to a 72-hour fast. And what does it do? It helps to restructuring good gut bacteria. You see, our ancestors, we have not evolved away from our ancestors. Did they have stores to go to buy food all the time? No, they didn't. And they'd fast 3 or 4 days before they found food. Okay? Let's see what here's another science research. Harvard Health and Science. Prolonged fasting helps with anti-aging. Here's Science Direct. Prolonged fasting, 48 hours plus, helps to reverse type 2 diabetes and promote weight loss. Guys, you got multiple doctors that are now putting their type 2 diabetic and even their type 1 diabetics on the intermittent fasting, prolonged fasting, and getting phenomenal results. And Emily and I are using this same. I mean, I also work with type 2 diabetics, and we're getting phenomenal results by doing this and watching their blood sugars drop down to normal. I mean, I've got a couple of people that have been that are type 2 diabetics where their blood sugars on medication is staying at 164 to 180, and just in a few weeks we got them down below 100, and now it's being more consistent, and they're losing weight. And so why are they losing weight? Well, because the blood sugars, we are regulating the blood sugar. We're controlling the hormone that is causing them to have high blood sugar, and so now their bodies can start to lose that weight. So here's another one. There's multiple research in PubMed showing 2-day fast or more. Okay, this is an important one for us, Emily and I, because of our age. We train between 5 to 6 days a week. And so this is important too, because as you get older, as you get up to our age, what happens to your testosterone level? What happens to your growth hormones? What do the doctors tell you when you go in and get your blood test? There are multiple issues, hormonal issues that happen when your testosterone level is too low. Multiple ones. Well, what happens is most of you will have hormonal issues. You'll contact your family doctor, and you'll go get, and he'll send you down to get a blood test for hormones. The problem is your family doctor doesn't know how to read those hormones right. They don't actually request the right test, and they don't. And then if they do, and you get your hormones back, we have seen multiple different hormone panels, and the client has told me, well, my doctor says that for my age, my testosterone is okay, and my progesterone is okay, and my estrogen is okay. And I'm looking at these, because we do have a specialized hormone doctor that we consult with, who's helped us ourselves. And the bottom line is, when I went in there, and because of my testosterone issue was so low, the doctor says, well, your testosterone is down to less than 100. I think I was 180, I think. A 20-year-old or a 30-year-old is up to 1,000. up to 1100 to 12. Okay, so she says, this is your issue. And she says, but according to regular doctors, that's a normal range for a guy my age, 67. Well, guess what? I don't want hormones of a 67-year-old. I want hormones of a what? A 20-year-old. And guess what? That's what's happening. Well, now because of intermittent fasting and prolonged fasting, and because we've been doing this for a few years now, my testosterone and my growth hormones are staying up there all the time. And the reason for that is why? Because this is what research is saying. Multiple research on PubMed is showing 2-day fast, 48-hour fast or more, up to 72 hours, improves secretion of growth hormones in men up to 2,000%. Not just one research, no, multiple research. And women, it increases their growth hormones up to 1,300%. What does this mean? Well, this means that if you're exercising, then no matter what age you're at, so don't let a doctor tell you, seniors out there, you're too old to gain any kind of lean muscle, because that's BS. Because Emily and I have already blown that right out of the water. But you're able to add lean muscle and the growth hormones. Why do people take growth hormone injections? Because they want anti-aging. No, you don't need to spend the money. Prolonged fasting's free. Why not do the anti-aging free? You can, and that's what the body is designed to do that in the first place. And it's, of course, it's much healthier, and there's no side effects to it. That's multiple on PubMed. There's more studies on PubMed that's prolonged fasting and ketogenic diet. There's all kinds of research about how it improves traumatic brain injuries. Dr. Allen, who is a brain specialist, talks a lot about this. Okay, now I'm coming up with the bonus research. Big one. This is big. Okay, now this is what I'm trying to get across to my clients, the ones that can't wrap their hands around doing a 48-hour fast or a 72-hour fast because they're worried about starving, which isn't going to happen if you follow my protocols, or if you stay on top of it and you stay away from the refined sugar, of course. But this is the big one. This is the reason why you need to, or you have to do a 48-hour fast or a 72-hour fast at least every couple of months, or even you can even do it once a month. Emily and I will probably. But you guys, you got to understand how important this part of the stage is. So there's a scientist, a researcher from Japan, and those of you that follow me know that I talk a lot about research from Japan because they're the ones that are doing it. They've discovered, now the research I'm talking about, guys, isn't blogs. These are actual abstracts, okay? But there's a scientist out of Japan that discovered that when you're doing a prolonged fasting, you're putting your body in what they call a state of autophagy. This was only discovered in 2016. That's why you guys have never heard of this. That's why a lot of you have, your health professionals or your personal trainers or whoever, have not explained to you how important intermittent fasting and prolonged fasting and a ketogenic diet combined, how it can put you in this state of autophagy. Autophagy, the word autophagy means self-eating. What that means, this is what's important. The body's natural way of getting rid of or regenerating old damaged cells and old proteins, including cancer cells. It's the body's natural way of doing it. And this is what the whole objective is. This should be your focus, is to get your body into autophagy once or twice every 2 or 3 months. Because it's also going to help with the saggy skin. Now, it takes time to get into this state. And you have to do it right. There's a right way to do it and a wrong way to do it, so you're better off getting some kind of guidance and doing it right. And that's why Emily and I came up with this 90-day online personal coaching, to give you the guidance. Because a lot of people are, even with my guidance, I have to preach to them this: you have to be patient. Your body has never gone through has never done this before, and you have to adjust to it, and that takes time. It just doesn't do it overnight. This is a lifestyle. This is because your body eventually is going to strive to stay in this environment because it likes it so much, and those cravings of sugars and starches go away. Food no longer becomes your crutch. Sometimes you even have to force yourself to be able to eat. But anyway, this is a scientist. This guy, he actually won the Nobel Prize. Discovered that doing a prolonged fasting, 48 hour up to 72 hours, sometimes more, that it will put you in a state of autophagy. Autophagy is what's going to change your life. Now, I don't do a 48 hour or a 72 hour every month. I do it every 2 or 3 months. Now, I do a 30-hour fast every Monday because we like it. It works for us. So, guys, that's your focus. Now, by putting your body into autophagy, the byproduct, it's your body fat. You're going to lose body fat. So when you're monitoring your GKI, which you better be, if you're really looking to be serious about losing that body fat, you better be doing a GKI monitor reading by testing your own blood to see where your glucose and ketones are. Blood tests don't lie, but you better be doing that, okay? Because that's going to show you what you're doing wrong or what you're doing right. But this is my tip, guys. This is Coach Bill's tip, that when looking to lose that belly fat or body fat, you will need to do a 48-hour or 72-hour prolonged fast at least every 2 to 3 months. Now, those of you that are looking to do it right, on my 90-day online coaching, I'm trying to get my clients to do it 3 or 4 times during that 90 days, so they can get their bodies acclimated to it, adjust to it. Now, you can't just jump into doing a 40-hour fast. If you're new at this, if you do that, you're going to fail. It's just not going to work. Your body is not used to burning fat. Some of you will get used to it faster than others. Most of you won't. You got to give your body a chance to adjust to burning the fat. It's not used to that. You've been on carbs you've been a carbaholic for years. So your body is used to burning carbs. You just can't say, okay, I'm going to do a ketogenic diet or an intermittent fast, and I'm just going to go right into it, and bingo, I'm going to lose all that weight. No, it does not work that way. The 90 days is a platform. It sets you up and gets you ready to go continually for 6 months to a year. You got to give your body at least 6 months to a year. You got to stay focused. You got to stay consistent. And you got to have patience, and you got to follow the protocol consistently in order to do it. So basically, that's what my suggestion is that give your body a chance to adapt to burning fat first. Once you do that, now how long does that take? That's the big question. Everybody asks me that question all the time. Well, I'm in a rocking chair, guys, so it's kind of cool. But I get that question asked all the time. How long does it take for my body to get fat adapted so that I can go into, so I can do this as a lifestyle? I don't know. It depends on how consistent you are. It depends on the type of foods you're eating. It depends on how fast your body adjusts to burning fat. It depends on your liver. Some of you that have been overweight for 5, 6, 7, or 8 years or 10 years, if you're overweight 100 to 150 pounds to 200 pounds, you have an issue with a fatty liver. Most of you don't even know you even have a fatty liver. Well, fatty liver will actually keep you from producing ketones in a timely manner. So what do you got to do? Well, you got to first reverse the fatty liver. And how do you do that? By being on the hydrogen-rich water, the intermittent fasting, and the ketogenic diet. And how long will it take for my fatty liver to be reversed? I have no idea. Each person's different, so I don't know. So that's just how, and that's where the GKI monitoring comes in. That's how we check to see. I've got a guy right now that's having a rough time getting his ketones up. His blood sugar seems to be okay, so we're having to play around with it to find out which protocols are going to work for him. Okay, so the obvious bottom line here, guys, is that there's a lot of science that is showing how the ketogenic diet, the prolonged fasting, intermittent fasting, and when you adding hydrogen-rich water to it, you're actually going to escalate everything. So those of you that are just drinking bottled water to hydrate with or filtered tap water, that's poison, basically. You're drinking contaminated water. Your body still has to work hard in order to flush out that contaminated water, but if you're doing a ketogenic diet and a prolonged fasting or intermittent fasting, at least you're giving your body a chance to flush it out naturally. See, that's what's happening in the American people today, is those toxic chemicals are being stored at the cellular level, and they're not able to flush it out daily. And that's why it's so important for those of you that aren't drinking hydrogen-rich water. Hydrogen-rich water is structured in a way to where every glass you drink is going to flush out the toxic chemicals at the cellular level. And that means, and I'm not going to get into the science at the cells, but the mitochondria is a big issue when it comes to cancer. And you got to have a healthy mitochondria so that you don't contract a disease like cancer. Because at the cellular level, how are you guys flushing out the chemicals you're storing on a daily basis? You're not. If you're not doing intermittent fasting, or if you're not doing a prolonged fasting, or if you're not combining it with a ketogenic diet, then you're not detoxing the body at all. You're not giving the body a chance to heal itself, guys. And so just remember that, you know, there's multiple research proving this to be true. Guys, I you know, if just like I said at the very beginning, go to my YouTube channel, type in Bill Mabry, subscribe to it, hit that bell, you'll get new videos. But there's other videos that talk about the fat adaptation, talks about athletes, talks about growth hormones and how beneficial doing prolonged fasting is. You know, Emily and I will exercise. We'll be about 40 hours into our fasting, and we're still pushing a lot of iron for our age. We have no issues with loss of energy. By the time we walk out the door, we're full of, we've fully recovered from it. We don't get sore because we're hydrating with hydrogen-rich water that is designed to flush out the metabolic waste that you produce when you do train. So we're flushing it out before it does any damage to the muscles. And so that's why we don't get sore. But also, just to remember too, that the hydrogen-rich water escalates all the health benefits that come from doing intermittent fasting, prolonged fasting, and a ketogenic diet. Okay, guys? So guys, I hope you guys saw some value in this. If you want to know more about our 90-day online personal coaching, message me. I'll send you some information on that. So guys, we'll see you guys at the next video. You guys have a great day. Bye.